my friends, and welcome. This is part 2 of a recent Famitsu interview on Armored Core 6. I covered the first half in a previous video. In case you missed it, I'll link the first part at the end of this video. As usual, let's jump right in. In the trailer, we were able to confirm actions like assault armor from Armored Core Foranswer. That's one of the additional elements called core extensions, which is exactly the assault armor in this game. The operating principle and other settings are different, but the same is true in that it emits a shockwave, accompanied by a barrier. However, in the battles of this game, there's an element of impact power. As an important item that pairs with attack power, an assault armor is one of the most expensive attack methods. Impact force is a parameter that can be described as breaking performance, and can accumulate to bring down an enemy's attitude control system, rendering it inoperable for a few seconds, called a stagger. In the previous AC series, there was a few scenes in which enemies stopped moving by attacking, and it was difficult to understand what was called a chance time. It's nice to be able to see that in the form of impact force. The reaction to damage is directly related to the feel of the weapon, and it's essential to create a pleasant feeling in an action game. In addition, all pursuits of enemies that have fallen into a stagger state will be treated as direct hits. And if the opponent is a general purpose weapon such as MT, it may explode flashily, so please pay attention to such enemy destruction. By the way, can you customize paint decals and emblems in assembly? Of course, it is possible. In addition to what was done in the previous game, this game allows users to choose the textures, such as the luster and reflection of the iron, and the ability to apply weathering. So I think that users will be able to reflect their commitment to their beloved machines more than ever. Dang, that sounds really cool. There was something like a shield in the trailer, but is that a shield? Yes, there's a shield as one type of a shoulder weapon. I think it can be an effective option when you can't outsmart enemy attacks, or when the stage is indoors and difficult to dodge. In addition, the shield also has the characteristic of initial guard, which increases the output even more about 1 second after deployment. So if you can read the enemy's attack pattern, the range of use will expand. That's a pretty nice feature for close range combat. Are there any other actions unique to Armored Core 6? As a new element that embodies the battles of this game, there's an action called Assault Boost. As a behavior image, it moves at a high speed similar to the Overboost of the past game, but the Assault Boost is even more specialized in attacking enemies. It's not only the first move to start combat, but it's also a high speed approach to ensure direct hit damage when you trigger an enemy stagger in a long range shootout. It's exciting to be able to go around in various ways. There are also likely to be various strategies on how to trigger staggers. I think that's the fun of choosing weapons unique to this game. In other words, it's a game of building your own coordinated attack until you trigger a stagger and take direct damage. Each weapon has its own attack and impact power. So you will enjoy the trial and error of how to combine the 4 weapons of both hands and shoulders to create a fluid attack pattern, and how to arrange it depending on the opponent. How did the concepts of impact force and coordinated attack come about? One was the result of pursuing action unique to mecha, but the other was simply the idea of wanting successful experience that can be separated even during battles. We wanted to create moments in the process of finalizing that would make players think, this works and it feels good. Listening to your story, I felt that you were more conscious of the sharpness of your actions than ever before. That's right. Overall, I'm very conscious of the fact that this is an action game, and I've aimed for something that moves emotions in each moment of offense and defense. It seems the sharper balance will make it easier to understand failures in the AC series. HP recovery was basically not possible until during missions. But is there a recovery in this game? In this work, a repair kit that recovers AP during missions is standard equipment. It's a simple healing item that can be used up to 3 times, but it adds a risk control gameplay. In other words, depending on the situation and the opponent, even if there's 60% of APs left, it's not necessarily a safe zone. In past AC, AP was more of an indicator of sustained concentration, avoiding hits as much as possible until the end of the mission. But in this game, it's more important to judge the situation, of how to perceive risks, and whether it's okay to use a repair kit at this time. Many people have the impression that Armored Core 5 is difficult to operate, partly because users have created a special way of holding the controller that has AC power. Of course, we're aware of Yamamura's AC ownership, but we're always surprised that users play in a way that exceeds our imaginations. However, having AC was not essential for playing, so if there is a misunderstanding, I'd like to clear it up. On the other hand, the basic controls of the game are closer to our recent titles and more intuitive. I think the AC series is a title that changes the way you enjoy it and the difficulty level that players feel because of the wide range of assemblies. But how is the difficulty level of this game balanced? First of all, to be clear, AC is not a game where all missions are always difficult. One of the attractions of the Exhilaration Annihilation mission, in which you scatter a large number of general-purpose weapons that are inferior to your own aircraft. On the other hand, I think that a rewarding game experience is expected of us, so the bosses at key points are difficult opponents. And what comes into play here is a gameplay of observation and learning, cultivated in our recent title and development, and the gameplay of behavior change by assembling. For example, in a situation a certain boss's laser slashing is unavoidable, it is possible to avoid it by assembling and configuring it specifically for climbing performance. Alternatively, you may shoot a bazooka with excellent impact power and stop an enemy's movement just before the attack occurs. By the way, I think that in this game, users will enjoy the ingenuity of constructing their own solutions to the threat of bosses. Here's a big one. Regarding the online element, it has been announced that it will only be played online in the arena. First of all, the main content of this game is positioned in a story mode, in which you will capture missions, and there are no multiplayer elements such as co-op or antagonism, and is specialized for offline single player. On the other hand, the online element has a separate mode that allows players to compete against each other with their own aircraft and share aircraft data and their own emblems. But we would like to inform you about the details of this at another time. Please tell us what kind of experience you would like to enjoy in this game, both for new players and for players who have enjoyed the series. For those of you who will be making your first AC, I would like you to look forward to the 3D mecha action centered on gunfights created by From Software, and the cosmic scale sci-fi world that colors it. Also, I hope you'll experience the primitive fun of AC, which allows you to freely customize the mechanism and move it freely. And I would like series fans to remember these unchanged goodnesses and enjoy the realistic battlefield expression brought about by the evolution of hardware and technology and the texture of the profound mecha. Also, from the new interpretation of Assemble in this game, we hope that you will feel the potential of the series. What were your thoughts on working on the latest title in From Software's iconic series? I feel very honored to be involved in the work of the AC series, which is part of history. The number 6 attached to the title of this game is not just a number, but I believe that it is the result of the enthusiasm of the fans who have loved this series and the staff who have continued to develop it. I have to do what I can to add the breadth and depth of the term Armored Core. I feel such a sense of mission. This is a series title that has continued since the founding of Agura From Software, and I strongly feel the heavy responsibility of this because of the latest title in 10 years. I would also like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be involved in this project, and I hope that Armored Core 6 will be a new step forward in the AC series that only we can achieve today. Alright, that's the end of the interview. Sorry if there's some translation issues and me just flat out stuttering. Have fun and stay safe, my friends.